First of all, I'll okay, we did this example in last class. Now we will do another example. Mm, Okay, for now, I think we don't need this header. We can add it afterwards, so I'll remove it. Okay. So in the SRC folder, I'm making a folder which the name pages because I want to remove this all part, and so I will add it there. So inside that pages, I'm making a, let's say, counter.jsx, and I can, first of all, we need to make a React template basic. And this is a component, and after that I will just paste this whole code. And the return part was this. So since this is wrapped in one div, we don't need to add React fragments here because there is only one parent in the return statement. And any error? Okay, error is here because we need to return something. So let's do everything from start. And this is app, and now you won't be able to see that. And if you want to use this counter, you can directly export it inside your div. We can write their counter. This automatically exports with the import statement. And okay, why it's not showing? Use state is not defined. Okay. So in the counter, yeah, here we have used use state, but here we haven't imported it, so we have to import. That's why this error is coming. Now, yeah, you can see now you're able to see this. So whenever you are in need of this counter, you can directly export it where you want to use it. But now I don't need this, so I will remove it. Yeah, I got an empty page. And now what I want to do is on the page, I want to make a note.jsx. And I made a new page, and similarly, I will import it in my React. For the name notes. In the app, I have imported the notes. Now I'll be working inside this notes component only. Okay, so we will work here. So first of all, what are the requirements for our node making application? We will see. First of all, let's make a basic UI. So we are making a form and there will be a button. So that form will contain an input and also a button. This is an add button, add notes. So let's see what is our input. So input type is text and we will add a placeholder which is enter your note, and after that yeah, and bad button is also there. We stylize it. I'm adding a border with width width is 1 by by default, and after that padding from the x-axis, let's say 2, which is 8 pixel, and for the input I'm adding the class name. Hmm, if you want to remove this outline, when I click on it, then you can write outline none. I think I will make the border little bit thick. And I will wrap all this, you know. Okay, we'll see it afterwards. Right now, I have made an input and an add button. So when I click on add, I want it should be added here. So let's understand what are the things that we need to add. So first of all, when we are writing this node, right? So we need to save it somewhere. Okay, so for that, I will make a use state snippet. Here I can change the name to text. So this is the text that I am writing. And right now, like initially, the what is the value of this text? I can say it is a empty string. So what I want to do is when I also need to import use state. So when I write something, what I want to do is I want that text should make change in my this text that I made. So how we can do is first of all we have to make a there is also a value prop. So the value of this input will be our text, which means this text will be the value of this. And whenever this input is changed, right? So whenever we change, right now, I am actually pressing the buttons, but you are not able to see, but actually I am pressing the buttons. Like I am writing something, but I am not able to write because my value is set to null. And I am not able to change it because I have not changed, like I have not added the on change property. If we don't add this property, we won't be able to change the value of this. Suppose I write the value of anything like when I click on save, you can see even I am clicking backspace and I'm not able to delete it, and neither I am able to add something because the value of this input is set to text. So the value of text is hello initially. So the initial value of text is hello. But what I want to do is if I make some changes, if I add some like backspace or space, so on change is a property so that we can handle our form. So what is on change? So first thing is, so this we have to write it like this. As we are writing some JavaScript, so that's why you have to enclose it in the curly braces. And there is a arrow function that we are going to make. So what I want to do is when my any of this is changed. Okay, first let me comment out. Yeah, when any of this thing is changed, I want it to make change in my original text that I am writing. So we can use this function to make changes as we did yesterday. When I make any changes, I want set text and what should be the value of the text. So the value of text, how we get it, in actually in the browser, we can get it using. So E is because it is a event like I have written is here. To access it, E dot target. So actually target will target the element. It will target my input element, right? So after target, what I want to get is value. This. First I want to target my input and after it is target, I want to get the value. E dot target dot value. So any change that we make here, that we make here will actually make changes here as well. Here as well. And now you can see everything is working fine. I'm able to enter and delete anything. Now you can say my form is actually controlled by the React because we are able to get manage the state of this, and any of this actually is make changes in this text only. Because whenever I add anything, I make any change, this part runs and it set my text value to the e dot target, which means my input dot value. So dot value is this. So what I am writing, so what I am whatever I am writing here will my text value will be set to that part. Okay, so this is the first part that you should understand. And the next thing this after this is we have to make another use state notes. So what is this notes actually? Why it's okay. So what is this notes actually? This will be all the notes that are coming here, like 1, 7, 2, 3. So all the notes. So you can see this is actually in a form of an array. So we can store it in the form of an array. So initially, right now there is no notes. Then first of all, I will set this hello to null. When the app is loaded, there are no nodes right now. So that's why I will set the initial value of this nodes array to an empty array. And after that, what I need to do is, uh, yeah, I will make a function, like I will use the the property which is on click. And when my add button is clicked, then there should be a function that should run, which is add nodes. So we are going to make this function now. If for now, leave it like this. When I click on this, a new node should be added here. So how we can do it? When I click on click, like on click will work and then the function will be called. And what is actually happening in the function? So first of all, we will check that if there is something actually entered in this, because right now it is empty, it is an empty string. If I try to add, so it will actually add an empty note. I can actually show you. So if I write mm, set, so what is the logic is, when I click on add button, it should add some note. So it will make changes in this array. So how we will make change in this array using this function set notes. When the button is clicked, we will set our notes. So that notes array, what will be the new value? So as we did a spread operator when we were doing JavaScript. So what I want to do is, so all the previous value should come. How we can do this is using this operator. All the previous value of the nodes should be like coming here as it is. What is the previous value? Nodes. And after that, I want to add my text. My tower is written here. So which is this text. Then after that, I want to add the text. Right. So my new array will be coming like this. And okay, for now, I will leave it as it is to show you something. And okay, I will make it inside a div. Now, when I click on this, so my notes is added in my notes array, but we are not able to see it, right? So how we can show this in my UI part? So let's see that. So this is my form. We can actually, for now, minimize this. Now this is that part where we are actually showing our notes. So we are going to use some JavaScript and logic here. So uh, notes is an array. Notes. As you know, we did a function which is map in one of our classes, JavaScript classes. So notes.map inside it, what we expect is the item, each item of the array. And after that, I can write any index. And here I want to, okay, I will make a div. And inside this div, I want to return something. Okay, there is some error. Inside the div, what I want to return is, first of all, um, okay, two things were there. First of all was the heading. And what is my heading? It is actually the item. And after that, there is a button which is delete. Okay, so let's see what we are able to get here. Okay, so now you can see, just focus here. Something is added here, right? But it gets vanished. Why it's getting vanished? Because this page gets reload when I click on add. So you just focus on this button. When I click on add, this page will reload. Why is this happening? Because the default behavior of the form is to reload the page when the button is clicked. So to stop this default behavior, what we can actually do is go to this add nodes, and you can write here e or event, anything you think is. You can write here event dot prevent default. So what this actually does is it will stop the default behavior of our form. So if I write something, It is actually written here. So you can see anything I write here comes here. That I also want to like set this string to null whenever the button is added, whenever the notes is added. And what how I can do is my set text to null or to an empty string. Now we can see it gets empty. So right now, if I add some, I will refresh. If I add something, you can see delete button is there, but where is the text? Because we didn't handle that case. If this text is empty, we are still able to use the add button. So this will create a mess. So we to stop this, we can just write a if statement like if text dot trim is not equal to an empty string, then we will set our nodes to this. Otherwise, if it's an empty string, we can actually give an alert also. Please enter a text. Okay, so please enter a text. We can write it. I will show you. Okay, it's working fine. Now when I try to enter, we can see alert says, please enter a text. Please enter a text. Now only when we add a text, we are able to use this. Now let's add a little bit of styling to it. To this part. And also, I want to show you one thing. So you can see there is a warning. Each child in a list should have a unique key. So what does this say? So when we are working in like when we are working with array and we are showing it in the UI part, what React expects us is to provide a key to the like the first element or to the parent element. So this is the parent element. So actually React want to uniquely identify each of this element. So we have to provide some unique key. So here our unique key is basically index because the index of each and every uh, item is different. So we can there is a key prop and we can give the prop value of index. Now each and every value is unique. Like React will able to identify each of them. You can see there is no warning now. Okay, after this thing, let's add some styling. I want to display it in the row manner, so I'm writing flex and okay, justify between. Okay, it is actually shifted to this, but in this div I can. This is my parent div of this page, so I want to give the width of this parent div to be 1 by 4. What is 1 by 4? This is actually 25% of this page. Now this is actually 1 by 4. If I show you with like with the background color, you can see this is taking the 1 by 4 space of this whole width. Also, I want to give some padding. Padding from each side should be okay. I've given some padding. And for the form also can give flex. Now you can see this is how it looks. And mm, or I can just directly give the margin from the top to be 3. This is shifted downwards. And inside the form also, input all, I can give the padding 2. Now this is shifted like this. Okay, I can give the whole padding x and y axis 2. Okay, y is a lot. I will give x axis 2 and y is 1. Okay, so this is how it looks. Okay, so this is your node making application, but the only thing is we are not able to delete this because we have not add a logic to this button. And to the delete button, I will add a class. And the text I am giving it red of 700 shade. And for the add button, I'm giving the text is blue 700 shade. Okay, so last thing which is left is delete. Now for the delete, we are going to see like follow the same procedure. We have to make a on click, and after that delete node. So we are going to make a function delete node. Let's make it here. So actually how we will able to delete our node. Let's say first, like how will React get to know the index about this, like which node we have to delete. So actually we have to remove the nodes from this nodes array. So what we have to do here is we will actually keep the track of this index. The index of this item is 0, and this index of this node is 1. So whenever we are calling a function, we will also pass the index as well. We will pass the index as well, and here we will accept the index. So this is the index of our nodes. Like it is the index that we want to delete, and we will set our nodes. So there is a function that we did earlier, which is nodes dot filter. So this actually returns an array. That's why I'm writing directly inside this set nodes. So this will actually return the array. That's why I'm written inside it. So nodes dot filter. What are the parameters it accepts is first of all is some element. Second one you can write index, or I am writing I. So on what basis I want to filter this is. So I want to like if this index matches the index of this nodes, then I want to like then I don't want to include that array, like that element in my new array. So I can write if index doesn't matches my index, then only I want to include. Now, for example, consider this. So this is my array. So index of this is actually 0, 1, 2. And what this no filter I want to do is, for example, I want to delete this part, right? So I want to delete this part. So when I click on delete button, I am also passing the index. So index of this is 1. Okay, so 1 is passed here. When 1 is passed here, so this is the say actual index and 1, which is the index of the element to be deleted, right? So if the index of this doesn't match, then we want to add that array in the array. So we will filter it out. So 0 doesn't match 1. So this is here. If 1 match 1, which means I want to remove it. That's why I will remove it. So simple. 2 doesn't match 2. No, it's not possible. That's why we have written it like this. Okay, there's some error. Hmm, AI is not equal. It's actually right. Nodes dot filter. Okay, bracket is, yeah. First, in the text is, when I click on add, delete node is not defined. When I click on add nodes, it was working till now. I don't, what change did I make? Delete node. Okay, okay. I got to know. So why is this error is coming? So in the last class, I explained this why we don't write bracket here because it works automatically. But here we have to write the bracket because we were passing the index, right? So when we are adding the item, it gets deleted at that time because this part runs automatically when it renders. So that's why we pass the function without writing bracket so that it works whenever we click the button. So, but in this case, I want to make it work when I click the button so we can pass it in the form of arrow function. Yeah. Now it won't, now the notes won't get deleted automatically. It will only get deleted when I click on delete button. Let's see. Yeah. And when I click on delete, okay, so this is our notes. You can say we made a small component of adding the notes. And I will also push this code to the GitHub. I think we are running a little late now because it took some extra time in this topic. So I think we will continue with props in the next class, but it will take some a little more time. Let's say 20-25 minutes. So for now, I'm giving the attendance, but next class we will actually keep the pace high. Mm.